Okay, we're ready for the second step of ripping up this framework. So this is an 8-player game. I'm actually going to try to make a 32-player game. I'm not expecting that to go well, but I'm going to attempt it. But one of the things that we don't need right now while we're working on this and when we're getting ready to pull it into the new scene is this many copies of all the yards and stuff. So we're going to get some stuff out of the scene right now by just deleting some of these components that we don't need. So I just deleted 7 of the copies of the backyard. And then we're going to find the front. So we just have 1 front yard and 1 backyard now. We've got some object loaders here in town that actually have an object inside of them. I don't need that. I don't need it in the loader either because it's going to have my own art, but this one is just out in the scene to make it easier for new users to get used to working with it, because it's a bit unusual, this framework. Everything is doesn't exist until you go into an area. So we res the templates, we bring the templates into the scene when you go into a space, but because that would have been a bit daunting to open the framework and see nothing, we put a couple of the templates out here for you to see, but I don't need those. So I'm going to delete that one. That's for town. I'm not going to need these roads and things anymore. So we'll just get rid of that. Okay. I'm not going to need these shops. So I am going to build a store, and I probably will use one of these as an example, but even if I delete them here, as I said, everything in this game is being loaded up as templates. So that means that I still have the template and I can look at how it's assembled. If you go into, if you click on one of these stores, you'll see that it's inside of a thing called an object loader. So this is area object loader, and it's loading in this template called Store Sunshine Seeds Static, and there's a duplicate copy of it here. So I'm just gonna delete all of these. I don't need any of these object loaders. I can get a new object loader later, so we'll just delete those. I do want to keep a copy of the front and backyard so that I remember how that worked. It'll confuse me if this old town loads up. So well, I'll leave that one for now. It's okay, I can swap it out later. So we've got, why is this mad at me here? I'm not sure why this one's missing, but I think it's supposed to be set to this, so we'll try that for now. Okay, so my new project still is going to need a front and a backyard, but one of the other things that it's not going to need is quarry and a forest. So we'll just get rid of one of them. We'll just get rid of the forest, I guess. I am going to have areas to explore, so I'll leave one there now, for now, that I can copy. So the next thing that I'm going to go and do is get rid of, you know, this is enough for now. So we've stripped a bunch of stuff out of this scene. Things are not going to work very well now if I hit play, so I won't bother. I probably won't hit play again for a little while because I'm setting up a lot of things all at once here. So I want all of this stuff. I'm going to copy this entire mess, and I'm going to save what I've done. And then we're going to go to where I actually intend to paste it, which is Coraltown. So we're gonna load up Coraltown. Now you can see that there's already quite a few things in here. We have some of these things we'll get rid of, like gameplay settings. We're about to paste a new copy of that in, so I'll delete that one. But most of the rest of this is the art. So you can see it's terrain. I do have a sky, which I might have made some changes to. I don't remember, but I'll keep this sky just in case. I have my little rock homes that I've made. They're just art. We have these entrances. They are a template, but again, it's just art. So it's a template that I've positioned to look nice, but there's nothing special about it yet. And then I have this other one called main room. That's over here. This is a house interior. It'll probably change, but that's the initial pass. And I have this underwater post-process effect. So I've left this, let me hit B. So I've left it to be a pretty small volume, but in my actual game it'll be unbounded. It'll cover the whole world. So if I hit play right now, you can see that we're swimming. Now I don't have very much fog and stuff on because it would be very hard to work on the level design if it was difficult to see. So I've been, I have it watery enough to get the effect, but not much else. And then I also have just some ambience out, which eventually will probably actually be loaded up in an object loader or something, but for now it's just there. So we're just going to paste that other stuff in. We're going to go find somewhere in here. I don't know where it is. We've got 2 skies in here right now, which is not, I know that's not desirable. So it's hiding in the settings. So we'll just delete this one. So we've only got 1 sky. And I'm just going to rearrange a little. We're going to put this stuff. I'm gonna delete the help files because I have them in the other scene, but don't just delete them completely. I mean, you can still get them from your scripts area, but if you're new and using this framework for the first time, I advise keeping them around. I don't need like copies of them in multiple scenes, so we'll get rid of that. We're going to move the settings and the dependencies and the database and the UI and the managers all up so they're out of our way. I'm just going to lock the dependencies. I shouldn't need to do anything in there for now. Same with the settings. It helps me focus on what I need. If things, I'm not going to work on UI right now, so we'll just lock that. Managers we might need to touch, so I'll leave that alone for now. So we don't need this big terrain ground in this case because I was in the farming framework, that's the ground, but in this one we have terrain, so we'll delete that too. Okay, so this is not looking too bad. We've got, let's get rid of our water effect. It's a bit much. All right, we've got the start of things in here. So one of the things that we're going to want to do is figure out the front yards. That's how I'm going to start. So this is the old front yard from farming. But now what I actually want is all of the functionality of this to be on my little yards that I've made, these little templates. And if I work right on this template, if I copy all the information to this template, then they'll already be positioned correctly for me. So that's probably what I'm going to do. But that does mean that I have to make sure that I don't miss anything when doing this. So we're going to de-instance this thing. And I'm going to abandon the template. Because we don't want to affect the farming game, right? We want to keep our copy of farming running properly. And this always confuses me, but I'm going to make sure that advanced objects are on just to make sure that I haven't missed a file. If hide if I was just working and I wasn't doing this sort of crazy tear up thing that I'm doing right now, I would probably keep advanced objects hidden because it simplifies the hierarchy and makes it easier to work with. But for now, just to make sure I don't miss anything, we're going to leave it on. So if I look at the front yard, we'll open all these up so we can see custom properties if it has any. There was nothing special about that template itself by looks of it. There's no custom properties on it. It's just a template. So that means what was important was all this stuff inside. This is the stuff that we're going to need. So what I'm actually going to do, I think, is we'll go get the entrances, and we're going to put them in here. We'll rename this to just entrances because you don't really have much of a yard in this game. And we can ungroup that. And we just need to work with one of them. It doesn't really matter which one. So we can just use the last one in the list here, number 32. And we'll de-instance that thing. So if we go look at it, has a door, and it has some rocks and a little bit of floor. So these will actually all eventually be in a template and be loaded up, but for now we don't have to worry about that. Right now what I want to just do is get the other functionality that's in the lot so that this thing works as a lot. So it looks like we're going to need a player lot setup. Now here's where things start taking a little bit of thought. If we click on player lot setup, we don't actually have to do anything inside of here. All we need is these custom properties. But remembering the names of these custom properties is important because you're going to use them other places. So what I do is I make a notepad document. Okay, so this one looks like it's a referenced object, and then this one is a lot type. So we're going to change this one here to house entrance. And then we need this lot loader thing. We're not going to need 3 spawn points. We're only going to need 1, so I'll just only keep 1. We'll delete those. Again, I don't need a whole bunch of loaders to look at, so we'll just keep 1 for now. Then I'm not going to initially have any upgrades, so I don't need any upgrade loaders. We'll just delete those. Oh yeah, I didn't actually set that to reference this. So there we go. Okay, so we've got a replicator loader. So the replicator loaders, if you want gatherables, like we've got 2 here. We've got a replicator loader for gatherables and a replicator loader for placeables. I don't really plan on having any debris for you to clear away on the exterior of your home. Maybe I will later, but right now this project's already going to take plenty of time without doing that. So I'm just going to get rid of that outer replicator one. I don't want that one, but I'll leave the placeable one in case I decide to let you put plant pots down or something. We'll move those in. And I don't need the placeholder object. That was just a thing to grab to be able to get a hold of that. So I don't need that. I'll delete that. So I shouldn't need anything else from there. So let's make sure all of these are zeroed out. They don't have to stay zeroed out, of course. You can put them where they need to be, but for now, we're just going to start with everything zeroed. Okay, so this is all the parts that are now here. Now we need to make sure that everything has correct custom properties. So this this thing is just to make it easy to grab. So I don't actually need that for me, so I'm just going to delete that one. I might put one back in later, but for now I'm just going to delete it. So it's give my way, or actually here, I'll just make it small. That way I don't have to de-instance the template. Okay. So the replicator has some, the loader has some values on it, including a storage key and an identifier. We do want to change those and put them on our list. So, sorry, it's annoying. I'm so used to having two monitors. It's a pain that I can only see one of these at a time. So we will say that this is storage key is going to be, so instead of front yard placeables, this will be house entrance placeables. And it looks like I used the same for the identifier. It's not a bad idea to use something shorter than that, but it's fine. It's fine. So that should be all we have to do for that one. So this one here would be the art that is supposed to load up to indicate like the art for this yard. So that actually is gonna where we would want to put this. So we can do that quickly. I'm gonna make a new group so that it's zeroed. We'll put this right here. We're gonna call this area. I'm just putting area in front of it so I remember what the art's for. And then I'm gonna say maybe just house entrance. And we might break this up into multiple templates and do more complicated things with it later, but yeah, we'll just do this for now. So we'll create a new template from this. And then the object loader, we're going to change it so that it says house entrance art. And we will make sure that it's referenced in here. It is a static asset. I should have actually put that in the name, but I did not. There. Okay, so this one, if we just delete this now, we don't actually need it anymore because that will load it up dynamically for us. But for now, we're going to leave it here, and just so that I have it to look at. So the next thing we've got to look at here, we have a spawn point, which has a key. The key is house, which is probably fine because this is a house. So I'll leave that one alone, but again, we'll write it down. So we'll write spawn point key. It's going to be house. There's nothing really that you have to do with this one. You would see if advance was off, there's nothing. You might need this function. There's an explanation there. But there's no, we don't need it in our case. We're going to leave it alone. So it looks like we've changed everything. I think we've got it all. The only thing we might want to do is make sure that the spawn point is not half buried in the ground, which it currently is. So we'll just move that up. And you don't want to spawn right at the door because eventually there's going to be a teleporter there that goes to the backyard. And it would be bad if when you tried to leave your door, you immediately teleported back into the door. So we'll just do that. And then we'll hit update template from this. So now you can see, since I used that existing template that I'd already placed everywhere, those same items from the front yard are now in all the front yard templates. Okay, this recording's already very long, so I'm going to stop there, and then I'll do the next one in the next recording.